So this channel is meant for a few reasons. Part of it is to catalog my thoughts on different topics and issues, and also it's to sort of offer my children advice when they come of age, maybe. It's just to describe the struggles that I've had and the things that I've had to go through. Um, and people may not like that. This channel may never gain any traction. It's not going to get necessarily get up there in the algorithm or whatever. I don't think. But the one thing that I want to sort of dispel is a lot of these sort of boomer truths and things that have been told and lied to our parents' generation, and why that we need to make a course correction on a lot of these things because even people that I know that are generally more based on topics or they're more grounded in reality than some of the hyper online people. They still fall into this trap of acknowledging these boomer truths, and we can go over a couple of them. I actually probably want to tackle these sort of individually in two separate videos because I think that there's enough content there to talk about for a long period of time about each individual one. So let's talk about the first one. Uh, and that is sort of this no leisure time. Like you should never let up. You should be working 24/7. This is a fatal boomer truth that a lot of people are falling into, and they're consuming themselves with trying to say, hey, you shouldn't play video games. You should be reading Shakespeare. Don't play with cards. Don't do these kind of things. And there's even a quote. I forget the quote. I think it's by is it by C.S. Lewis? But basically, like when I was younger, I thought I had to when I became older, I had to put away the idea, put away childish things, and that's sort of a quote from the Bible. But then he goes on and he says, uh, which means which means I also put away the idea of thinking that these things are childish in many ways, because there is some value in having fun. There is some value in, like, if I never engage with my son, like playing around, goofing off, he's always going to take the everything in the world 100% serious, and he's never going to let up, and that's what makes a lot of the people that we have in the world today is they've been forced to never let up. Like, everything is serious all the time, 24/7. We always must be doing this, and this is why, like, a lot of people they don't like their parents because their parents decided that they would be serious all the time, no fun zone. And when you cultivate that world, you cultivate a world of no fun, no fun. You can not play video, I mean, some of them maybe they got to play video games, but like like me, my parents would randomly cut the internet off. So like they would be mad. They would want me to get off video games. And instead of engaging with me and trying to produce an outcome of like, hey, let's try to go do something else. I have other things that we can do. Instead of trying to engage with me and trying to produce a better outcome, it was always sort of brute force of trying to say, "Hey, we're cutting the internet off, cut the internet off, and then I can't play and all this kind of stuff." So that didn't produce the outcome that they expected because they thought it just made me angry, and I didn't talk to them, and I didn't want to be involved. I would go outside and I would shoot basketball, and that was not the intended outcome. I mean, maybe it was to some degree, but I think what they wanted me to do is they wanted me to do other things that I guess maybe you say are more productive or whatever. But instead of saying, "Hey," like what they could have done, and this is what I hope. I mean, my son loves reading right now. Like, even though, we read to him every night. They say that does really well for children. Uh, and I think that if I wanted him to read more, like, all I have to do is a do it with him, like engage in the activity with him, and two, b I guess, I have to uh, offer him the opportunity. Like, if I go get him a new book and I say, hey, here's your new book, read, I think that would be more of introducing those things introducing something, offering, hey, here's a let's go do some woodworking. Here's a skill saw or something like that. Like whatever it may be, like here's a circular saw. Like let's go. I honestly I would have been all in for it if you offer me an alternative. The whole point though is that they didn't offer alternatives. All they said was you need to get off the games. You need to go work 24/7, and they didn't teach me anything. They didn't teach me what to do, where to go. Like they didn't offer any alternatives or any solutions to these problems. And that's why like I'm get stuck in, like I would get stuck in wanting to just play video games because there is no nothing else was really challenging. Nothing else in the world was really challenging. School wasn't challenging. The only thing that was challenging somewhat was video games, and I think that was my actual problem. They did give me gave me one time for Christmas a little electronic set, but Dad never got sat down and did anything with it with me. It would have been great to sit down and like, okay, let's figure this out or whatever. But I understand to some degree that he worked hard and he was really tired. Um, so I have a sort of duality of understanding. I understand it from both sides. I see that there cannot be only leisure time, and there cannot be only you can't be amped up 24/7. There is it's a false dichotomy. You can't do either. Like no human is capable of doing either of these things. You cannot be all leisure. You cannot be all it's not all work and it's not all play. You can't do it, you can't do both of those either of those things. Like no neither, people who are all work, they're terrible people, they're awful people. And people who are all play are awful people and terrible people. This is just a reality. If you don't ever do any work, you're generally a terrible person. If you do if you only work, you're generally a terrible person because you're probably a suck up. You may be the boss, and all you do is work, and you just tell other people that they need to work harder, and you don't care about their family, you don't care about their lives. That is the generation before me that basically does this kind of things, that they encourage this kind of behavior, and it's only to their detriment. It's only to every person's detriment. You certainly should have leisure time. You certainly should have the capability to have a little bit of free time, and that shouldn't be something that is bad. You should, if you like video games, you should play some video games. Like that's what I'm telling you. Don't, screw these guys. Screw these guys who want to mess up your life and ruin you because, oh, you shouldn't be playing video games. You should read Shakespeare. How the hell do they know what's going to be better for you? How the hell do they know? They don't. They don't. They're pretending. They're online keyboard warriors that think that they know what's best for you. And if tell them to pound sand and tell them to screw off. Like that's all I'm doing now. I'm telling them to screw off, leave our hobbies the hell alone, and get the hell out of here. Like they that's all they can do. Like there should be neither end of the spectrum represented in reality. No one should be amped up 24/7. No one should be always playing video games or whatever. And it should always be some sort of happy medium of people doing leisure activities, going to do fun things and enjoying themselves. And this is why, like, even though you could disagree with him on a lot of other things, the quote by Benjamin Franklin says it best: "Everything in moderation, even in moderation." So you can have a lot of play in a short period of time, and then you can decide later, like, hey, I want to work more. Like all of it needs to, like, there must be some balance to this, and this is why people talk about work life balance. And although I don't agree with maybe the couching of the way that they frame it, like they don't want to do any work. Like I'm not someone who doesn't want to do any work. I think more along the lines, I want to I want to do valuable work a lot of times. Like I want to, like whenever I have been able to do some interesting things, like adding a particular API capability to a site, a website, or something like that. It's been really interesting. It's been really enjoyable to do that activity, even though it is a work related activity. It is work. It is enjoyable to do this kind of thing sometimes, like to integrate something brand new, and be able to toy with it and figure out how it you know how it works. And even better if you can make a really valuable tool for the company. I mean maybe that sounds more like a corporate simp to some degree, but like I do want to add value to the company that I work at. If I'm going to work for a company. Now ideally I would like to one day have something of my own, but while I'm working at a corporation, I do want to provide value. I don't want to be valueless, because if I provide that value, then there's more opportunity for me. I should stay there. I should be able to keep my job or whatever. But as far as the this sort of mentality of all work or all play, both of those mentalities are falsehoods. Like you shouldn't want to be amped up all the time, and you shouldn't also want to be in a down state all the time. There should be a rubber banding back and forth of work and play, and these kind of things should balance out somewhere along the line. You might go hard for a few weeks, and then you should be able to let off the gas. Now, unfortunately, corporations don't allow for this kind of stuff a lot of times. Like not all of them. Hashtag not all, but a lot of corporations, like especially the big corporations, like they want you to be amped up 24/7. They want you to be always on it. They want you to be committed to the cause, TM. Like they want you to be wed to the cause and believe in the thing or whatever. And then I don't think that's necessarily the right way to go. And they also don't. A lot of them don't value the people. They don't value the people, and this is why, like, I was uh talking to Justin. He, I don't know if he's gonna watch this video or not, but he's one of the guys I've been interacting with a lot online. But he seemed to think like, oh yeah, like these younger generations, like they don't want to work. Like he's sort of, he's not quite boomer, but he's like he's essentially Gen X, and so he really or late Gen X, I think. And so he thinks that this, like, oh man, these millennials and these Gen Z, they just don't want to do anything. But that in reality, that we've seen what it does whenever people get just completely burned. Like my dad's been working for the same company for like, the company's changed hands. Like the business has changed hands, but the company he works for is generally the same place. Like he goes to the same working establishment, and he's been there for roughly, gosh, like probably 20 years, or like, so whatever, like 20 years or something like that. I don't remember exactly the year that he started there, but around 20 years, and they haven't really bumped up his pay a lot. I mean, they give him a few bonuses, a few raises here and there, but they haven't, like, he should be the top earning employee there because he's the best mechanic that they have. That should be how it is. Like he's a valuable resource. He answers calls when he's not at work. He does all of these things that are not his responsibility. It's not his responsibility to tell Joe how to fix the freaking tractor. It's not his job. Joe should know how to fix the tractor on his own if he's going to do the work. If they're going to be equals, if they are equals, and I know my dad doesn't mind. I know he doesn't care. He likes helping people. Like, I think that's where I get it. Like I like helping people. I like to do things for people. That's where I get it from. My dad. He likes to do that kind of stuff. And obviously, sometimes he does want to get paid. I mean, he does work on stuff for people for pay a lot of times. But I think a lot of it is doing a service too. Like he doesn't want to, someone to have to like worry about, like, oh well, my chainsaw don't work or whatever. He loves getting in there. He loves working on it, and he loves helping people with this kind of stuff. And he may just get a few dollars out of it. That's all that it is. Like he did. this is why it's so frustrating because I watch him break his back for all this time for 20 years and working on tractors and being a mechanic, and they reward, like, he doesn't get to be the head of the shop or whatever. Some goofy salesperson does, or whatever it may be. Like, so, like they don't know anything about the shop, and then they get to run the shop. So it's so stupid. Like this is why, like, I go into the whole politics thing. Like you're never gonna be rewarded for how hard you work. You're never gonna be rewarded for what you do. You're always gonna be rewarded if you play the game. You have to play to win the game. That's it. Like you have to play. You have to play the sleazy, dirty, game. And if you don't, then you get punished. And that's the unfortunate fact. Like, if you're not playing the game, if you're not getting involved in that way, you're just losing. Like, you're literally just losing. And that's why it's so frustrating to sit here and watch all this play out and all this kind of stuff, and then have people sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, millennials uh are lazy," which is never, like, none of the people that I've seen have really been lazy. It's just that there's no reward, there's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, like, for this. And I mean, I mean that both figuratively and literally. Like, you're not gonna make a lot of money doing this, working this hard. I mean, and you can say work smarter. Well, yeah, I mean, I try to do smart work. That's why I am in web development and programming. But as far as, like, all this kind of stuff, it isn't. You can't pin it down to just this generation sucks, and they're terrible, and they don't want to work, because you have to look at the whole. And maybe some departments are better than others, but as far as how work and life and all of those things, uh people need to feel valued, and they need to feel rewarded. And not if they're doing decent. I mean, obviously this doesn't apply if they literally do nothing and then they just show up for 8 hours a day. That doesn't apply. But if they're there and they're doing something and they're providing value, people should treat them like they have value. And that is my fundamental difference with a lot of these people, is that a lot of these people would rather you go work and kill yourself over $20 an hour. Kill yourself. I mean, maybe that's okay. Like, that's okay pay, but, like, literally, like, coming to home to your family, if you even can have a family, because they may just work you 70 hours a week and you have no time for a family. If you come home to your family and you are dead exhausted, you can't enjoy time with them. You go, you lay down, or you sit down and you watch TV, and you do something mind numbing. And then all of a sudden you have this goofball on the internet, moron, saying to go work harder and to read Shakespeare or whatever. Yeah, it's stupid. So that's the gist of it right there. Go work 70 hours for a corporation. You know, get it in for them. Go take it from behind from this corporation, and then for 70 hours a week, and then go home, and then bust your butt some more, and try to read Shakespeare and stuff like that. Yeah, totally. No leisure time, no fun times, no fun to be had at all. That's what a lot of these people see it as, and that's what I don't want people to fall into this trap, because it's just a boomer lie. A lot of the people that I know that are from this generation are some of the hardest working people that you'll meet. They just don't do backbreaking labor, and it's unfortunate that people see it this way. And I mean, I know some of them get paid more than some of the people who do backbreaking labor, and maybe that's a discussion of whatever you want to decide about that. But it's just frustrating when people go and say these kind of stupid things. They're like, you must read Shakespeare, work 24/7. Yeah, no. You have leisure time. I will defend it to my dying breath. Enjoy your video games. Like, just don't do it in excess, obviously, and enjoy things. Like, enjoy life. Work hard when you do need to work, but enjoy life, and have leisure time. enjoy things, have fun at some point. Because otherwise, you'll end up similar to me in many ways, and that's why like I feel like I can't have. I mean, I do play video games occasionally, and I do these kind of things, but I don't feel like I can have fun. I don't feel like I can enjoy anything anymore. Nothing feels fun anymore. Like even playing video games, I do it to basically to cool off, because otherwise I'm amped up 24/7. And you can say that there are other factors to that. I mean, certainly there are, but I don't think that this is something that we should be striving for. Like I think that we should want to encourage people to be more stable, not less stable. Uh, so that's all I wanted to. I just wanted a little bit of a rant, 20-minute rant here. Hopefully you got something out of it. You enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I do want to try to post more videos. It's just kind of hard, like being an adult with a family, a young family. Younger kids. Maybe if I had older kids, this would be easier. But so we'll see how that goes. But as far as my upload schedule is going to be really sporadic. So if you enjoy the content, please hit the subscribe button and check out the channel. Um, Also, I do occasionally write on Substack, trey50daniel.substack.com. I'm going to try to put out a couple more articles there, um, hopefully soon. And if you like any of my other content, there are links below. Twitter, Twitch, all that kind of stuff. So go check me out there, and I hope y'all have a great day and enjoy your leisure time. To embrace it and enjoy it. But that's all I have for today. This is Trey from Trey's Think Tank, signing out.